Yo, what up, everyone? It's Mark back again here with Madhouse, and I'm breaking down how I made this new age opium inspired trap beat. Alright, y'all, so this is what the project's looking like. It's a pretty big file, but I'm gonna do a real in depth breakdown of this beat so y'all can understand what's happening. I'm gonna start off with the first sound, which I normally go for an ARP, but this one I kept pretty simple. But there's one cool technique that I did. So I'm gonna first play this without the effects on here. So, it's pretty simple, but what I did was I threw halftime on it, but I only slowed the low end, and I kept the high end, which you can see over here. I kept the high end doing the same thing. So you'll hear it sounds the same, but the low end is halftime, so it's kind of lagging in the back, but it sounds pretty cool. So this is what it sounds like. So it's almost like a second layer in there, but it's pretty much just a low end of it being slowed. And then I kept the I kept the high end unhalf-timed, so it's still fast. Quick thing I forgot to mention as I move on to the second sound here is the BPM is 160. So when that halftime is working, it's pretty much chopping that to 80 BPM on the low end side. So the side that's half timed, it's pretty much chopping that in half. So it goes from 160 to 80. And 160 is good because you want the drums to have that energy, but I'm gonna go over that like later. But for now, I'm gonna just move on to the second sound. But yeah, just keep that in mind when you're using halftime, because halftime is a good tool to have if you're trying to make beats. If you want to make something unique, try halftime on it. Just a little tip for you guys. But here's the second sound. It's another sound off of Nexus. It's like a bass kind of sound. You can see it's in the 4th octave, but I'm gonna play it for y'all. This is what it sounds like. Kept it simple, but it's all about finding that bounce, and it gives it rhythm in the low end, and yeah. Now my idea with this third sound was I was looking for something that was quick, like a pluck. That's actually what I ended up using, but more importantly, since I kind of had the two last sounds heavy on the low end, I was looking for something that I could put up in the high end, and you can see it's in the 6th octave, or actually a little bit in the 5th as well, these two. And I was looking for something that was just super unique. Like, this sound itself isn't actually even like an instrument or anything. It's almost like a sound effect, just like, something to add a unique sound to the sample. So this is what I came up with. And over here, I cut the low end. I added a super massive reverb, as you can hear. A delay, it's kind of a longer delay. And I made the width. And the width is pretty much a stereo image. So if it's in the left and right, when it's more separated, it's makes the sound kind of like almost, it's on the center pretty much. That's how I'm trying to say. It's not in the center. It's around you. When you're listening to it, it's around you. So yeah. And so I want to just play these first 3 sounds together because I think that you can already kind of see the inspiration for like the new gen kind of opium beat. But yeah, I'm gonna play it. Yeah, so you can see the energy is definitely there. We do have quite a few more sounds to go. So sorry. We do have quite a few more sounds to go through though. So let's get right to that. Moving on to the next couple sounds. I'm going over these two because they're playing the same notes, just a couple sounds that complement each other. Starting off with this one. This one is kind of for like, again, the high end presence. It's in the left side. Super filtered, as you can hear. Compressor, couple EQs. And the other sound is on the low end and it's on the right, filling in both sides. That's how it sounds. Same procedure, EQ on both, compressor on both. And yeah, here's them together. Yep. Real nice full sound. That's what I was looking for. That's it. And finally, the last two sounds of the sample, which are actually, in my opinion, the most important. They have pretty much the most energy because it's the lead. And I'm going to break down how both of these sounds were processed. You know, kind of why I chose them. Starting off with this, was a low pluck. Nothing but a couple EQs on there. So what that shows is it's more about sound selection. You know, if you pick the right sound, you don't really got to do too much to it. But this pluck, you know, brings a whole lot of energy. And with the sound that it is, I think I nailed the new gen vibe. But here. Very nice sound. Got this other one to go along with it. Just a high-end layer, but it really adds a whole lot of energy. And I'm going to play them together, but I'll also play the sample all together because you could tell how much impact these two sounds have. Yep, here's the whole sample. Whole lot of energy. You could tell, dude. I'm ready to send this one out to fucking Playboi Carti. Now, if the sample's going to Playboi Carti, we need the drums on point. So I'm going to start here with the hi-hat and the snare. And one thing I'm going to say before I break down the drums is the kind of type beat that you're making, the genre, it all lies in the drums. Your drums have to be accurate to the type of beat that you're trying to make. And since this is like a new gen like opium beat, I'm keeping that in mind. I'm using the one step, which you guys don't know. It's a hat on like every hit or every beat. The one step and the snare, but here it is. Playboi Carti gonna love this. But yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, like you could tell, it's kind of just, that's the vibe. Like you hear that in almost every beat. Now the counter snare and the open hat, these are both to add just bounce, you know, because just the one step and snare is kind of boring. But I'm gonna play the counter first. And with the open hat. And, you know, these are really standard sounds, like, not complicated at all. And, yeah, it's all just to match the genre that you're going for. Since this is a opium beat, you know, that's what I made the drums sound like. Alright, so after those few drum sounds, I wanted to look for a few sound effects to, you know, keep the drums interesting. Only a couple in here. I used this, like, machine gun kind of sound. And also this chant that everyone's heard. You could tell, though, they fit pretty well with the drums, you know, keeps them fun. Yep, nothing special there. But what is special is this kick in 808, because you're gonna have these on point if you want to make some fire. So, you just need a quick, cool bounce. And all I did was sidechain him, which I will be going over in a different video. But for this one, I'm gonna keep it quick. Just showing y'all what everything sounds like. But this is what they sound like together. Real simple. You can hear the sidechain. I'll explain it a little bit. If you don't know what sidechain does, basically every time that the kick is playing, it's ducking the 808 because they're playing in the same frequency range. That's like as simple as I can put it. But in case y'all don't know, watch the next video, or I'll have a video already explaining that. But yeah, last two sounds. After you have most of the drums, you kind of just look around what you got and see like what would fit. And for me, that was definitely this bell, which I'm playing for y'all. Just, 3 notes. Doesn't have to be complicated. And the triangle on every downbeat just to give it some more tempo. Nothing special at all. But here's the drums all together. And, the big thing is you just want to have the genre that you're going for matched with the drums. So this is what they sound like. There you go. That's the drums. Simple. Yeah, they matched the sample, the beat, and that's it. Now, if y'all are following this beat breakdown, or just trying something on your own, you should have a beat that's ready to send to Ken Carson, Playboy Cardi, Destroy Lonely, anyone you can think of, because you're going to have a heater that sounds just like this. There you go. That's the beat breakdown, how I made this. If y'all liked it, stay tuned for the next video. Subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. And that's all from me. See you.